Hi, welcome students to my channel. Let us teach you how many lobes there in brain. Let's start the video. Frontal lobe, left. This lobe is located at the anterior end of each cerebral hemisphere. The function of this lobe involves higher mental functions. This includes the ability to determine similarities and differences, recognize consequences from actions, and to suppress unacceptable social responses. This is where most of the dopamine-sensitive neurons are found. These neurons are associated with planning, reward, attention and short-term memory. Posterior lobe of cerebellum, left. The posterior lobe of cerebellum, aka caudal lobe of cerebellum, forms a large part of the cerebellum. It receives input exclusively from the cerebral cortex, particularly the parietal lobe via the pontine nuclei, and sends output mainly to the ventrolateral thalamus and to the red nucleus. This lobe is involved in planning movement that is about to occur, evaluating sensory information for action, as well as fine motor coordination. Parietal lobe, left. This lobe is located superior to the occipital lobe and posterior to the frontal lobe. The first and second somatosensory areas, which integrate sensory information, are found here as well as areas for visuo-spatial processing. Occipital lobe, left. This lobe is located at the posterior end of each cerebral hemisphere. This part of the brain contains the visual processing center of the brain as it contains most of the visual cortex. This cortex has specialized areas for different visual tasks including visuo-spatial processing, motion perception and color differentiation. Temporal lobe, left. This lobe is located inferior to the lateral sulcus of each cerebral hemisphere. The primary auditory cortex is found here and is involved in auditory perception. It also contains the hippocampus, which is involved with short to long-term memory, spatial memory and behavior.Pons, left. This part of the brain stem is located between the midbrain and the medulla. It connects the cortex and the cerebellum and forms a portion of the anterior wall of the fourth ventricle. This is the site of origin of the trigeminal, abducens, facial and vestibulocochlear nerves.